He's rooting for the home team. The big World Cup final of France v Croatia is dominating the top trending topics lists on Weibo today, with one particular moment during the game attracting the attention of Chinese netizens, which is when one man in the audience was spotted waving a Chinese flag. The still was posted on Weibo by a popular micro-blogger, who only wrote, "This dude." Within 10 hours after the Chinese flag man post was published, it received more than 22,000 shares, 148,000 likes and more than 20,000 comments. "At least the flag made it," a popular comment says. The Chinese team was not qualified for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. The PRC has only once participated in the World Cup, in 2002, and scored 0 goals. Despite the lack of a strong team, China has great ambitions when it comes to soccer. The Chinese soccer dream is such a priority that the National Development and Reform Commission, Chinese Football Association, and the Sports Bureau and Ministry of Education have set out a visionary plan to produce one of the world's strongest soccer teams by 2050. Besides great ambitions, China also has a big soccer fan base. The Chinese man spotted at the game apparently was not the only Chinese national waving the flag. "I can tell you that I went to the game and also carried the Chinese flag. Many people did," one soccer fan posted, publishing a photo taken on Sunday at the game. Other Chinese soccer fans posted similar photos. "The national team might be late to the party, but we made it," some joked. "We will keep dreaming on." By Manya Kotze. Follow at Watson. Weibo. Spotted a mistake or want to add something? Please let us know in comments below or email us. Copyright 2018 Watson Weibo. All rights reserved. Do not reproduce our content without permission. You can contact us at info@watsonweibo.com. China and the world. China International Relations. China Sport. China World. Jiang Muyi became her music coach when Miki Akama was only 8 years old. A decade later, the couple announces their wedding on Weibo. 6 years after Chinese pop star Jiang Muyi, 1987, publicly declared his love for the then 12-year-old music pupil Miki Akama, 2000, the two have now announced their wedding on Weibo. Although some say their love is meant to be, others say it is a case of pedophilia. In 2012, it made international headlines when the then 24-year-old Chinese pop star Jiang Muyi publicly declared his love for 12-year-old Canada-born model Miki Akama. The two met when Jiang Muyi was hired to be Miki's music coach when she was only 8 years old. In 2012, Muyi wrote on Weibo that he simply couldn't wait for Miki's next 4 birthdays to pass, saying he was counting down each one. 24-year-old Jiang and 12-year-old Miki. In 2012, at the time, the 12-year-old Miki, whose mother is Chinese, German and whose father is Japanese, had already built up a fan base of 500,000 followers on Weibo. She replied to Jiang, saying, "Wait until I'm old enough to marry you, and then I'm going to say, I do." 6 years later, the now 30-year-old Jiang Muyi, at 1.4 million followers on Weibo, and the 17-year-old Miki Akama, at 1.8 million Weibo fans, have announced their wedding through social media. On April 4th, Jiang wrote on Weibo, "You've made me see the most beautiful picture in this world," adding a photo of a wedding dress. Miki responded to the post, writing, "You make me as beautiful as I can be." He later added, "We are indeed preparing for our wedding in all kinds of ways." On September 11, 2018, Miki will turn 18, and it will be 10 years since we first met. The wedding announcement prompted a wave of reactions. Within 48 hours after the post, Jiang's photo had received 23,800 responses and nearly 18,000 shares. The couple became one of the most searched hot topics on social media in China on April 6, and the hashtag, Jiang Muyi and Miki Akama getting married. Although there are many netizens who wish the couple a happy life and find their story romantic, there are also many opponents who think the base of the couple's relationship is unhealthy. Weibo account at Love Matters, an account affiliated to RNW Media, writes, "In most parts of the world, it is hard to give blessing to a relationship between a teacher and their student. The fundamental reason for this is that there is an unequal power relation between teachers and students, which makes it difficult to speak of an equal and truly harmonious connection between two people, let alone if one of the two persons is underage. This further intensifies the unequal relationship in terms of knowledge and experience. Let's not even focus on whether or not this is pedophilia. We should discuss this from the angle of pedophilia. One netizen responds, because even though it is now disguised as romantic love, its base still essentially is the relationship between an adult and an 8-year-old girl. Many others also say that this is a whitewashing of pedophilia, with some expressing that it makes them feel like vomiting. In response to the controversy, Mickey addressed their engagement on Weibo in a lengthy blog post. In her statement, Mickey expresses the shock at the negativity surrounding their wedding engagement, saying that people are turning this story into something they want it to be, and that they are downgrading her to a brainless girl who has been living in the dark all her life. I do want to correct something, she writes. There are people who are changing our story and are using the fact that I was 8 years old when we met, and in doing so, are harming us and our loved ones. In their articles, they're deleting the part that really matters. When I was 8, I met Muyi and he was my music teacher, teaching me how to sing and teaching me self-confidence. By the time I was 12, my parents had let me read many books and see many movies, and I had a good education at school. Many of my friends with the same age as me had started reaching puberty, and I also started to think about who I liked. I could talk to Muyi about everything. He said that when I would reach the age of dating, he would help me check them out. At the time I did not understand what it meant, and he said he would not let me date bad guys, because it is very easy for people to get hurt. Looking back now, Muyi was also still young at that time, so I told him that if he did not want me to get hurt in the future, he should just marry me. At the time we were just joking around, like playing house. With that uncomplicated promise, I grew up with him by my side. Of course, we will stay pure until marriage. Regardless of Mickey's statement, many netizens still hold their own opinions about the matter. Some compare Zhang and Mickey to the case of the Taiwan lyricist Li Kuncheng and his wife Lin Jing. In 1996, the couple became a big topic of discussion in 2015, when the then 58-year-old Li tied the knot with the then 18-year-old Lin. Li Kuncheng with his 40-year younger fiancé in 2015, image via AsianPopNews.com. About Zhang and Mickey, one commenter writes, I don't think this is as serious as pedophilia. The goal of pedophilia is unpure sex, but they have been together a long time. Zhang has no evil intentions. Still, many people express their worries about the situation, wondering where the parents are in this, and saying that they do not want their own children to be influenced by this. By now, some experts and key opinion leaders have also gotten involved in the matter. While influential Nanjing police officer Wang Haiding condemns the relationship, famous Chinese sexologist Li Yinhe says it does not meet the criteria of pedophilia. Renowned Chinese sexologist Li Yinhe answers a question on Weibo about whether this is pedophilia or not. The 3 principles of sex that I have proposed are that it is voluntary, between adults, and in private. If it is in line with these 3 principles, it is not punishable by law. The law can punish adults who have sex with girls under the age of 14, but if they wait with having sex until they are both adults, then the law cannot control them. Pedophiles are people who sexually assault children. This is clearly not the case here. Amidst all controversy and analyses, many netizens just jokingly say, I'm also ready to meet my future spouse, too bad they're still in kindergarten. Update, see our latest video about this topic here. By Manya Kotsi and Boy You Shall follow at Watson. Weibo spotted a mistake or want to add something? Please let us know in comments below or email us. Copyright 2018 Watson Weibo. All rights reserved. Do not reproduce our content without permission. You can contact us at info@watsonweibo.com. The heartbreaking photos of a desperate mother are going viral for the second time. A photo that is currently going viral on Chinese social media shows a crying mother in Shanghai kneeling down by her toddler son on the sidewalk. The text accompanying the photo says, "On Shanghai Beiyan Street, a single mother kneels on the street in the cold wind. She buries her head in her child's arms and quietly sobs." The 3-year-old son suffers from hydrocephalus, water on the brain, and they previously came to Shanghai to seek medical treatment because he had an infection. After using up all their money, they were forced to leave the hospital. The helpless mother just sat on the street, feeling sorry for her child. The photo received thousands of comments on Weibo today, with many people offering to help the mother out. "It hurts to see this," some said. "She wants to be able to help her son, but she does not have the resources." Many Chinese face major obstacles in getting access to the healthcare they need. Under China's current medical system, it is not easy for people from rural areas to gain access to medical facilities in the major cities, as they are not covered there and will have to pay for medical care themselves. The issue is related to China's Hukou household registration system. Government-subsidized rural medical insurance is often not valid in a different province, which means that villagers who fall seriously ill are not covered when they travel to first-tier cities for medical care. So-called ticket scalpers take advantage of the system and people's eagerness to see a doctor by using local identification cards to book appointments and then selling them to people without the proper documentation. As for the crying single mother, this is not the first time these photos make their rounds around Chinese social media. The scene was captured on camera approximately 4 months ago, in early December of 2017. It is not uncommon for the same story or photos to go viral again or to keep circulating on Weibo, similar to viral news stories on Twitter or Facebook. According to Phoenix News, the mother is the 45-year-old Guo Yinzhen, who is a single parent since she divorced from her estranged husband some years ago. Her son's name is Guo Zhenggan, and they come from a village in Daishan County, Sanming, in Fujian, some 830 kilometers from Shanghai. The photos were reportedly taken on December 1, 2017, when a reporter joined some volunteers to pay a visit to the Shanghai's Children's Hospital and came across the crying mother and then asked her about her story. Photos from Sina.com. Guo Zhenggan was born in November of 2014 and has congenital hydrocephalus, meaning he already had it at birth. From 2014 to 2016, the child underwent 3 surgeries, but his condition deteriorated in May of 2017. Since November 2017 alone, the child was admitted to the hospital 4 times because of a potentially fatal bacterial complication. Having used up all her money and still needing some 100,000 yuan, more than $15,000, for further treatments, Guo Yinzhen had no choice but to leave the hospital again, which is when she helplessly sat down on the street with her son. In March 2018, Sina News also reported about this story, saying that Guo Yinzhen is a laid-off factory worker who has not been able to work since the birth of her child. Her parents are farmers who make a living by plucking tea leaves. Sina also writes that the family has already spent 400,000 yuan, plus or minus $63,000, on medical expenses, and still owe around $47,000 in debts. "I just feel so bad for the mother," many people on Weibo respond. Since this is the state of medical treatments in Chinese society, parents have to make sure they can afford the medical costs if their child falls ill. Another person comments, "It is the best to purchase a commercial insurance. They're not cheap, but even if costly, they need to buy it." In search of how Guo and her son are now doing, we found a buried Weibo post dated December 12, which only received 4 comments, in which a netizen writes, "On December 1, the crying single mother kneeling in the cold by her son has received ample attention. On December 5, with the help of the Shaoxing Foundation, single-parent Guo Yinzhen was able to bring her child Guo Zhenggan to Shanghai again for medical treatment, where the notable pediatric neurosurgeon Bao Nan operated the child. Thank you for all your care." The update was also confirmed by the Shaoxing Foundation with a post on Weibo, which also said that according to the doctor, the infection had gone and that the brain development of the boy was looking good. Why can't we set up a system in which children will always be able to receive complete basic health care? One netizen wondered. On March 15, China Central Television reported that future reforms in China's healthcare system will make healthcare more accessible and affordable, especially for rural communities. It does not say on what term these changes will be realized. By Manya Kotze. Follow at Watson. Weibo. Spotted a mistake or want to add something? Please let us know in comments below or email us. Copyright 2018 Watson Weibo. All rights reserved. Do not reproduce our content without permission. You can contact us at info@watsonweibo.com.